Good morning, everybody. I appreciate y'all tuning back in. As y'all seen in the title, which one's the clone? So, get right to this video. All right, welcome back. It's another weekend. I got a couple knives that I primarily use when I go camping, hunting, and stuff like that. And I was looking for some more, and I stumbled across some stuff on eBay, and I didn't realize that people or certain countries were making clones. So here I've got knives. Which one is the real one? Can you take a guess? I'll let you think for a second. Come on, pick, choose, maybe. Fixed blade knives. Here's the three of them. They all come in sheaths. They all got similar characteristics, so let's take a quick close look at them. All right, well, it might help if I push record, but I didn't. So I was sitting there rambling on for 5 minutes, and guess what? I didn't record one bit of it. Well, anyways, we're going to start from top to bottom and go through each one of these so that way you can know which one's the real one and which one's the fake. So let's start from the top. I'm going to pull from the middle. Okay, this one is actually the real deal. Now, and when I say top to bottom, I'm going to go by price range. This one retails for about $80, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on where you find it. This is a true, authentic Gerber Strongarm. I got this one a few years ago, probably 6-7 years ago for Christmas. I carry this one primarily in my hunting pack or myself, depending where I'm going to. If it's a backcountry, in the mountains, whatever you call it. And yeah, it's a good, strong knife. No pun intended with the name, but comes in this kind of rubbery plastic sheath. There you go. It's got the Gerber on there. Got the window breaker. You can put your lanyard or whatever here. Made in Portland, Oregon, USA. It's got the part number there. It's kind of a textured grip that's kind of smoothed out over the years. But I mean, this blade's been really, really nice. It's been really good. It's got a good weight to it. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I've really enjoyed using this one. I really enjoyed carrying it. Something that's been very, very reliable. And that's what you kind of, in terms of Gerber itself. Now, they got some weird ones out there, the Bear Grylls ones and stuff like that. But the Gerber, this line of product, along with their other stuff, the multi-tools, pocket knives, and other essentials, it's really good. So, that is the real one. Next up in line is this one. So I found this one actually on eBay, and they list it as a Gerber clone knife. And they did a very, very good job on this one. There's some noticeable difference, but this is a Gerber Strongarm clone. And it goes for about $35. You can find it for more or less. But that was the price range I found. Now you can buy multiples, which I have, and you kind of get a discount. So I paid about close to $31 each for it. So let's take a look at it. Now, this one also has some pretty good weight to it. It's got a Gerber logo there. They went even as far as saying made in USA, Portland, Oregon. Part number is up here. Okay. Window breaker there. they're pretty close. So let's compare it. But let's look at some other, I'll show you the rest of it too real quick. So on the sheath, it's got stamped Gerber on there. Same thing here on this. So you can actually run this on a Molly setup. So that's pretty nice. So if you have a Molly backpack or whatever, belt loops, you can run this on there. So it says Gerber here. But I mean, I like the sheath on this. It's actually, I think it's a lot better than this one. I mean, but this one is a bit more thicker and robust compared to this one, but still. But comparing the two, I mean, it's pretty darn close, and the weight of them is actually really good. So this one's actually pretty darn close to it. You'd almost probably not tell, but this, the finish on this one, I don't know if the newer one saw. This is obviously a 7-year-old knife compared to a newer one, so I don't know what the new Strongarms look like, or the LMF2s or whatever. But you can see some noticeable differences. The cuts on the grip are a little bit different. The angle of the tail end where the window breaker is a little bit different as well. But I mean, to me, as far as the weight and construction of it, it is pretty darn close. But yeah, for 30 bucks compared to 80, this was definitely a good deal. Now the only thing was I wish it came in FDE. I did find a few, but those purchases didn't go through. I paid the money for one to test. So basically when I find these, I do a test run. I pay the money. Obviously I use PayPal so that way I don't get screwed. Just in case if they don't ship it out. So I did end up, when I say I bought three or four of these, what I did was I'd buy one first to make sure, because on eBay now there's a lot of scammers, especially coming over from China. I hate to say it, but their shipping times vary. So I try to look for ones that say USA stock sellers. And what that means is they've imported the product over here already, and they have a seller over here, or whatever, the shipper over here, if you want to call it that. So I try to find that. Sometimes I do have to end up waiting. So there was one that actually came from China, and it took a few weeks to get here, but it got here. So again, very nice. For what I paid, 31 bucks, $35, whatever. Pretty good. So we'll put this one to the side here. And we'll leave this one out just for comparison's sakes. All right, last one. So this one actually is on Amazon. If you look closely, they look very darn close in terms of everything. Okay. The sheets almost cut the same, but a little bit different. This one's got this part where you can push your thumb and push it off and pull it out or whatever. So this one does not. It's just a smooth cut. There's no serrations. I mean, you can put your thumb there. Okay. Now that we got the knife out. All right. So this one, they didn't list it as clone at all. Now this one I got on Amazon. Okay. $17. It was $16.99 on sale. Regular price was 19 bucks. Now, very noticeable difference a little bit. Okay. So window breakers are different, starting from the back. It's got this punch style. It doesn't have a spot where you can put I just forgot my words there for a second. So you can't hang anything from there, it's just that. And then the grips, a little bit different there. So you notice on this actual Gerber clone that they listed, the grips are, kind of flares out even on both of these. This one is not so much of a significant flare out as compared to these two. Even on this one, okay? These two look more similar, but you can see them. You see that difference there. Now the weight was the first thing I noticed when I picked this one up. When I took it out of the package, it's a lot lighter than this one and very much lighter than this one. The Gerber, you can tell they've used some good steel on this. This one's pretty darn close. This one here, definitely not. I imagine if you, we're trying to chop some wood with this, you got it, over time. This one is going to wear out a lot quicker, might even break on you as compared to these two. So yeah, just be careful on that. But again, for $17, for a fixed blade knife, still comfortable. You can still, I would say, still usable, but to what extent, right? And as far as the longevity, I wouldn't be able to tell you how long this one's going to last. Obviously, I can tell you right now, this one's going to last you. This one probably would give you a good few years, maybe even more, depending on how well you take care of it. So, again, it's all about how you take care of your stuff, obviously. But this one here, this one would be questionable. So I would, would worry about rust, worry about how it would perform. So, yeah, so I bought this one. I went online. I went to go look at these, obviously some more of these. I wasn't going to pay the price of these, even though, you're paying for quality, you're paying for long term or whatever. So essentially what I'm trying to do is build packs for my kids and some other stuff. But I didn't, so I'm not going to if you multiply that out, 3 kids, that's $240, okay? Potentially $90 here, and then maybe about $60, and less. So right now they got a promo for 2 for $32. I just checked the price last night. It's back up to $19. They took away the single one. So if you buy 2 of them, it's $32. Okay, so $32 plus one more single one for 3 or whatever. That is $52. Okay, so significantly much less. But again, depending on usage, what your thing is. If you're looking for a budget build out, this would definitely fit the bill. This one would also as well too for a little bit better quality. But again, I could have went and bought another one of these, but for sure I wanted to try this one out just for the fact that, okay, it looked darn close to this. I was hoping to be the same quality, but it turned out to be not to be. So it wasn't what I fully expected. But again, buying from Amazon, obviously I can have it returned, get my money back. Buying from eBay, you're going to take the chance of, okay, what is the seller selling? What is the return policy? There might not be a return policy, especially if it's coming from China. So yeah, that is something that you have to really consider. And then obviously with this one, you can go out to a nice sporting goods store like Academy, Cabela's, Bass Pro, whatever, Shields, and pick this knife up. Actually, I think this one my wife got from Walmart. She ran around to different Walmarts during Christmas and found this one finally in stock. Because we had went to the store one time in the year, and I was like, I'd really like to get this knife. I might get it one day. And yeah, and she, Christmas came around and opened up my gift. I got this. I was super pumped about it, and I still am when I pick it up each time. It's a great knife. Okay. So again, there is a quick look at it. All right, so yeah, a little bit different, still a tool essentially. It's just a outdoor tool is what I would consider it. Yeah, I wanted to share this with y'all because, obviously there's different budgets out there in terms of outdoor stuff, especially gear and equipment, because it adds up, right? But I wanted to share my experience with y'all so that way, just in case y'all see, like this one especially, if you're on eBay, it's really easy. My grammar's kind of bad there. It's really easy to type in Gerber, Strongarm, and you're scanning through so many listings that you're like, oh, it's a Gerber Strongarm, and you click on it, and what ends up happening is you buy it and you think it's the real thing, right? You know, as opposed to like what I was doing, 80 bucks. You now find this one thinking it's the real deal, and you buy it, and this, you almost be fooled with the way that they have their markings. I mean, they have the Gerber name and logo icon there, and then same thing here. You got the Gerber icon. It's got the Made in USA, so you're like, this is the real knife, but it's actually just a clone. And they clearly say it on there in the description, whether it's in the header of the listing or in the description in the body. And once you click on it, and it says Gerber clone. So you have to be very, very careful, especially when it's, you know, almost a third of the price, a little bit more, maybe close to half, but not there. And you don't end up getting the real thing, right? So you can't obviously take this and warranty it as you would with this one. So that's the biggest thing. You may be able to fool yourself or others and say I got a Gerber, but it's in reality not a Gerber. But if you were to ask me if I would buy this knife again, just like I said earlier in the video, yes, I would buy this one. I wish I could get the Coyote tan one. I'm still in the search for it. Just because, you know, it matches my hunting pack and, you know, my setup. You know, as they say, you know, black sticks out like a sore thumb, especially straight lines. I mean, that again doesn't, I don't know if it matters or not, especially with deer and stuff, right? You may just wear a pair of headlights and that'll attract them. But this one for sure, I would definitely say if you're looking for a quality knife, regardless of budget, you just want something sturdy that will last you, and you're even though you have budget in mindset, probably avoid this one. But again, if you're just, doesn't matter, you're going outdoors, you just want a fixed blade knife, doesn't matter if it's high quality or not, then yeah, definitely buy it. I may buy a few more just because, you know, it's good to have just extra knives or whatever, maybe in your truck or whatever. But yeah. Another thing to note, it doesn't have a MOLLE attachment. Now, will this one fix this sheath? No, it does not. So definitely cut different, which is kind of surprising. They almost look the same dimensions on the blades itself, but what is the difference? And this one's even thinner, but the blade is shorter. I don't know if you can see that. So, as well as the grip itself, you can see it's shorter. But that, you know, that window break. So, all right. Well, appreciate y'all watching as always. It's more informational. And as always, take care, keep wrenching, stay blessed, and catch y'all next time. Alright, so we're going fishing today, and I need to put some line on here. I picked up another reel, but didn't come with any line, of course. So I'm going to put my own line on there. Got this kind of rigged up here. In. Yeah, so it's literally like, you know, Mr. Groundhog tricked us. It's 80 degrees outside, so I don't know where winter is. So I'm gonna take the kiddos down to a pond near here, and we're gonna go fishing because the weather is beautiful outside. It's sunny right now. I walked out with the jacket. It's colder in my garage than it is outside. So I am running Trilene from Berkeley, XL Smooth Casting. This is 6-pound line. So if any of y'all are wondering, I don't do any big fishing. We just go down to the pond and stuff. And this isn't a how-to video, by the way. There's a lot of good methods out there. I'm just doing the one I remember. It works. Let's go this way so I can get some lighting. Your fingers don't fit in there. If it goes down instead of up the way you expect it to, just get a pair of small needle nose pliers. Okay, so what you're gonna do essentially is set this down. Give yourself some slack. You're gonna tie one knot first, just an overhand knot. And then up here, so let me redo that again. So give yourself a knot up here. And then come down here, let's say closest to the real body. And you're gonna throw a knot down there. Come back on this side. Give it some tension on both the line, so I got some gloves on, and on the reel. And I'll speed this up in the video for y'all. Alright, so we're just going to get it threaded in. Go put some bait on there and we'll be ready for this afternoon. Alright, we're going to run these Berkeley Power Bait Power Minnow Grubs. I am not a professional or a big time fishing guy. We just do it every once in a while. It is fun with the kids, and that's the main thing, is getting them out there and enjoying the outdoors. And I tell my kids all the time, for me back then when I was fishing in college, it was me and my buddies. I lived down in Houston for a while, and we go fishing on the Texas City Dike. That's where my uncle would take us to go crabbing and stuff too. And then just more or less consist. I had a. What we do is I also had a lawn chair in the back of my vehicle, my fishing rod, and then we'd stop by the store and pick up some bait and a 6-pack, and that's what we would do. If we weren't in class or we weren't working, then we'd run down there to the Texas City dike and put out a lawn chair, have a 6-pack, and just sit there and chill. I mean, let's see if I can do this without hooking myself. Okay. All right. So there's one down and 2 more to go. So there we go. And this is the Abu Garcia Max Pro. Now when we moved over here, I had a box full of my fishing reels, and mine had went, I don't know when it happened, mine ended up disappearing. So again, who knows.